Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We have another discussion video coming at you about the new ban list and how we feel it really went. We have an outline for you guys, so we'll go ahead and start with that.
All right. So, hey guys, it's Andrew. Today we're going to be talking about the January 2015 ban list, going over each card briefly, trying to understand Konami's intentions with each decision. We're also going to discuss how it changes current decks and what issues it did and did not solve.
So, I don't think it solved many issues at all. So,
Let's just go into it and prove
yeah,
them that.
yeah. We're not. We'll start the rant in the later slides, but the first one we're gonna start with is Reborn Tengu. Honestly, really good card in synchro decks. I could see this being used in maybe a turbo synchro deck. Maybe plants. You think plants could see
Yeah,
it
yeah,
used
yeah.
in
Just
there?
anything that synchros, just yeah.
It's a good card. It's honestly, it's just a good card. Reasoning. There was no reason. We just discussed this
No
transmigration
reason.
prophecy and reasoning. There was no reason for that to be on there.
Yeah.
So they
Excellent
took it
cards,
off.
but like, why are they on the ban list?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. I'm gonna
Same
let you
with
talk about Gale. I'm gonna let you talk about Gale.
yeah, same with Gale the Whirlwind. Yeah, Blackwing Pride. Let's go. Yeah, just spam your Yazzies using Blackwings and Gale. Make yourself a untargetable thing in hope that you can possibly defeat Burning Abyss. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I mean, Abiskund also another card. I didn't really think there was a reason for it to be limited at all. It's
It
a
was a
really
little
strong card.
powered, no lie.
It was back in the day, but now it's like it with all these new decks running
Back in the day,
their
being like six
conditions.
months ago.
Yeah, I mean it's still a good card and it's still relevant, but
Um,
I think Dragoons is way more powerful as a
of
card.
all the lesser tier decks, like Mermails are definitely up there. Like they definitely have a chance. Like
Yeah,
I
they're
think
very
they have
strong.
more of a chance than any of the other decks right now. Due to this, their speed is back. So good job on that.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, Mermails kind of came back with this being put back to three. I really like it. I'm honestly probably going to start playing my Mermails a lot more now. So I'm personally excited about this. So I like these small changes that they made to bring in cards back to full power and transmigration. Honestly, one of my favorite side cards. I think I have one actually. Like I used to run it in my spell books, so I thought it was a really good card. So especially as a side, it's just a solid card. There's no reason for it to be on the list. So we'll go ahead and get into our next slide. All right, guys. So for our next cards that we're coming up on, we have Goyo Guardian, Honest, and Dark Hole.
All
You
right.
want to talk a little bit about Goyo Guardian?
Yeah, I mean, Goyo, everyone was shocked to see this at first just because stealing monsters just seems to be a bad theme, but apparently it's coming back, so we're going to see Goyo Guardian probably come from 2 to 3 just off the ban list completely. We're
Yeah.
seeing that he's not being completely relevant, especially with all these floaters flying around.
I mean, he came back already. Like we got him at one, and he still. I mean, he changes a little bit. He can change the game sometimes, but I like him just because he's a beat stick at a 6 synchro, right? He's a 28.
Yeah, that was the main
That's pretty
reason why I
crazy.
didn't like him at first, just because
Yeah,
he's so big for so little.
yeah, and that's pretty nuts.
Speaking of
I'm
so big for so little,
honest,
honest?
honest at two. Personally, I'm excited about this. I think this is a cool little thing to come
I'm
in.
about to play 8 honest Boojins.
8 honest boojins.
Just saying.
Honest, I mean, we don't really have to explain that card, guys. You know what it does. It's an awesome card. Everyone loves it. So, Dark Hole going to two. Basically, I mean, there was no real reason for this to go to two. I don't exactly know why it happened. Just a
But
personal fu to everyone that's gonna play double Dark Hole and Raigeki and triple Mirror Force. I mean, let's just get that
yeah.
off the blade
All
already.
right. One good thing about this though is for a deck like say Fire Kings, it might help them a little more, just like we were talking about with the
True,
last discussion
true.
video. So definitely a little more destruction check never help
Yeah,
or never hurt. So
small tech choices, I believe, to small like some of the lower decks. I think we're seeing some hits on the lower decks that are possibly relevant. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the bigger, more relevant changes that have happened now. So we'll move on to the next slide. All right, so here in this slide we have Dark Strike Fighter, which this is the old effect in the old card. The new card is once per turn you can use the same effect. Um, that's the effect that it has on this card is why it got banned in the first place. So as you can see, that was a really powerful effect that caused a lot of OTKs and people got annoyed by it. But Andrew, I'm gonna let you lead off on this next card. We're both probably gonna give a small rant about
All right.
this.
Artifact Moral Attack. I'm a little confused as to why it went to one, because let's be real, like the only decks that are using it is Shaddolls, and Shaddolls are probably the least relevant of all. Not to mention, in Artifacts, you can use Moral Attack and Sanctum with pretty much any deck and just have some fun with it, and they got rid of that. So, you can try to play your Sanctum in one artifact, but it's not gonna work. Just I'm a little upset.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think they just completely killed the artifact engine that I was running, and I was actually trying artifacts in multiple decks just to see like how Moral Tech as a destruction tech just worked in that deck, right? In a previous video, I did a Gravekeepers and artifact deck, which I found to be fairly consistent and actually pretty good. And now I'm seeing, Moral Tech going to one. Like, what is the point? Like, you just killed one of the main cards in that deck completely. I think they could have hit other things. I think Sanctum would have been a better hit, honestly, in this deck, and wouldn't have hurt it as bad. But I
If
don't
you were
know,
gonna
man.
hit this card, then I feel like you should have hit it back when it was relevant.
Yeah, and
Like,
now it's like artifacts
it's
are
there,
good.
but
Yeah, artifacts are
like no
good,
one
but they're
cares.
not. No one cares anymore. They're still there, but they're just not as relevant.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, to all the people that are playing artifacts, I feel bad for you, man. Like this card, this card just got killed. That's pretty ridiculous. So we're gonna go ahead and get on the now banned cards. So we'll go on to that slide.
Oh, we got one more though.
Do we?
We got that Snatch Steal.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. All right. We're gonna move on to that slide first. That's an interesting one. All right, so we'll go to that one. All right, guys. So here we got Snatch Steal. This is an older card that was banned because of its kind of crazy effect. Obvious
First
reasons.
Raigeki,
Yeah.
now Snatch Steal.
Now Snatch Steal's back. As it says on the slide, why? Like, why is this card back? And now I just see the first thing me and Andrew talked about when we saw this was Winda, Snatch Steal Winda. Like, what?
It's just a one card game changer, and
Yeah, it's crazy.
the only thing that makes it like believable to even play is because you can negate it with like MST. But at the same time, it's like I have a traditional like draft cube that has all the banned cards in it. Not this card. I have Brain Control and Change of Heart, but this card it's permanent. Like why? It's just not. It's not a
Why?
fair card. Like one card, you instantly +1 and just ruin your opponent's strategy with one card.
Yeah, there's it. It can crush people. Like,
It's worse than Raigeki.
I don't know why this is not. I don't even understand. I don't know what. I don't know who Konami hired to do this, but I think they made some very poor decisions, and I think there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that are going to be very angry about this. So
On the positive side, it is like a couple cents because it came out of a structure deck. So
yeah, so
if
buy
you
it
want to
now.
play, then go ahead and get some.
Yeah, go ahead, grab one. I mean, it's a good card. This is staple. Like you should be running this.
Any deck.
Any deck
Any
should
deck.
be running this. This is
Playing
compulse.
Chainburn, this card.
This is compulse. This is solemn. You better be running this card. So, all right, we'll go ahead and go to our next slide. So stuff that's been forbidden. All right, guys. So next for discussion, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Super Poly. Why? Why? Like the new
Hashtag free my heroes.
Hashtag free Super Poly. Like, this is ridiculous. Why did you ban this? There's no reason. There's absolutely. You already put it at one. It's already.
We just had a
incredibly
rant about
inconsistent.
this going to one
You-
last time.
I don't understand. We just talked about how this was at one and how it just destroyed decks and made some decks so horrible, and now you're just completely getting rid of it. I don't understand. This card is
It's
not that powerful.
it feels like a whole card destruction thing where card destruction itself was not that strong card, but as card just got more and more powerful, it just wouldn't make sense to keep it in the game. And that seems to be what happening with Super Poly right now. Unfortunately, but I think it was okay at one. Like I don't understand.
I
It's just
think,
one of those
yeah.
iconic cards that shouldn't have
One
been
was
banned.
perfect. One was perfect. Like one was it made it super inconsistent. You had to pull it, and it was sometimes just kind of a lucky draw.
Most players just left it in the side deck because it was inconsistent, and they would put it back in if they saw that it was worth it.
Yeah, and that was your choice. Like most of the time, if you're going to run something and you want a little bit of consistency, you put two in, and then obviously you go to three if you want full consistency. But this card at one, I mean, that was I was not happy with it because I obviously wanted to play heroes with three super poly, but
And it's come.
this card being banned is just kind of crazy to me. I don't know why, and I will not understand it probably this entire format. So, as you guys can tell, this was the only card that was banned. So, that
Yep.
leaves a very, very strong deck that was not hit at all. At all. So, we were completely wrong with almost all of our predictions.
Yeah, you
So,
guys can see the last video,
yeah,
and you can just imagine
we're
how
gonna
baffled we are
yeah,
and
we're
how
gonna
wrong
link
we
it.
were.
Just we were completely wrong. We were almost there was not a single thing we were right on at all.
Nope. We did talk
So
about Super Poly, but it went in the wrong direction.
yeah, we thought it may go to two, like maybe, and yeah, this is not what we expected at all. This ban list was not something we expected. I am truly confused by it, and we'll see we'll see where the list continues from that. But really quickly, we're gonna go ahead and talk about probably the next big deck of this meta. All right, guys. So here we go. This is your new tier zero
Get
deck.
hype.
Get
Let's get
hype.
hype,
Get hype.
guys.
Free wins, free summons, free swag. That's gonna be this deck for the rest of this ban list. I
That's
mean,
3 months for you.
3 months, man. Here you go. This is how you win locals. Just take
Three
this
months
deck.
of literal hell.
This is this deck is broken. This deck is amazing. It's gonna crush everywhere. Just go ahead, get your fun out of it, play it to death until Konami
Yeah, if
realizes
you
their
have this
mistake.
deck or have pieces for it, go ahead and finish it. Give Komani what they need. Just have some fun.
Yeah, just please play this deck so much that Konami realizes what they've done and just bans every card. So that's or at
Yes.
least limits them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys thought it was a good discussion and got a little bit more insight on the ban list and what's currently going to happen in the new meta.
I'm gonna
So
be playing the GOAT format. For you guys don't know, that's 2005.
gonna be playing old school. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.
I'm trying